So up next, we have our council members. We have our focus is on YES. Now, YES is the Young Esomar Society. So, welcome, Tom, Lisa, Vanessa. How are you?
Great.
How are you doing? Good? Yeah?
Fantastic conference so far, so that's great.
Well, it's great to have you. So, why don't you introduce yourselves and then let us know what YES or Young Esomar Society is. Thank you.
So I'm Tom, I'm a partner at Insights Consulting and also a council member.
Yeah.
And I'm Lisa Wilding-Brown. I'm the Chief Executive Officer here at Esomar and also a council member.
Hi, and I'm Vanessa Oshima. I know my last name is Japanese, and I don't look very Japanese. I'm from New Zealand. And I've spent 25 years working in client side of research with companies like Starbucks and Coca-Cola and Nike, and now I'm doing consulting. Also a council member.
So you've been working with us on helping the emerging talent really get into the industry, or really helping them understand what it is to be a researcher. So can you tell us more about YES? What part does it play in not just in membership in Esomar, but for the industry?
I think YES is truly important because it's about the young talent that we have in our industry, and very often the innovation in our industry, the new stuff, the freshness needs to come from the young people who have a different perspective, who can open our eyes a little bit and bring something fresh and new to the table. So that's why we value so much the young members within Esomar.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about, the opportunity to mentor young people. I remember when I first started in the industry, there really weren't formal mentorship programs in place. You kind of had to seek out people. Sometimes they were a little reluctant, but I really love that there's a more structured program to provide support and also learn from them. So there's this reverse mentoring component that we spent a lot of time talking about.
So what I'd also say is that the YES framework is for those under 30. So you've got a lot of people that are just coming straight out of university or straight out of their education and are still exploring how to come into the area of research. But you've also got people who are maybe into their second stage. They've been through 4 years already of being in research and thinking about how they're developing their career, how to move from supplier side to client side maybe. And so this wonderful community of being able to support each other, also too within YES, but also too within Esomar itself. We're putting a lot of effort into how we can support and how we can grow your career and answer a lot of questions. Yeah.
A lot of questions. So, obviously the industry is growing, and as we've seen with a lot of the talks that we've had yesterday and a lot today, what if a person is considering entering the research industry, like what kind of innovations are they really going to be exciting for them to experience? What is the future for them? Yeah.
Can I go? Can I go first? Yeah. I was like, we're going to go like that again. We'll go back this way, yeah. Right.
Bit of ping pong.
One of the things I would say is that the young members are bringing the innovations. So yesterday on one of the speeches, there was like these two guys who were basically entrepreneurial and had come up with an idea about how to track offline shopping. Like we all know how to track online shopping, but they were EPAP, the team from EPAP, right? So what they're bringing too is like this whole new way of thinking about bringing entrepreneurial things in as well. They're seeing things differently and thinking about how do we use data, how do we do things. So that for me was like this big aha moment was, I'm just going to sit back and sort of say, how would you solve this? Because you see it differently. And so this is the issue that we have, this is the challenge that we have. How would you solve this? And I'm loving just this kind of the inspiration that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much innovation that's happening in this space, so much wonderful growth that we highlighted yesterday during Congress. And I totally agree with Vanessa's point here. We are learning so much from younger researchers who are bringing, I think, such a fresh perspective. In fact, the keynote yesterday talked about, the pathways of decision making. And as you age, it's actually more challenging to think of new ideas.
Was it myelin?
Yeah, the myelin, I think it is. Yeah. And so your myelin builds up over time and you're kind of resistant into that creative thinking. And I think we peak at age 5 or 6 in terms of creativity. So maybe you're not going to go that young with Young Esomar Society, but it just goes to show you that there's a lot of great innovation that can be tapped directly from younger researchers, and there's just so much opportunity around advancing the industry. And I've been so fortunate to spend a lot of time with the Young Esomar Society folks that are here at Congress. We spent a couple of different sessions on Sunday, had a nice round table, and I went in thinking that I'd be giving them advice, but they were actually giving me a lot of advice. So it goes both ways, and it's been so rewarding to be an advocate for the team.
And I think it has never been more interesting as a young person to be part of our industry, because there are so many opportunities. You can start your own research business and probably will be successful because you have that fresh perspective. You can bring a fresh perspective to an agency, but I think also at the client side we see a lot of evolution in client side teams, where they want people from all kinds of backgrounds to really create those diverse teams that really want to make an impact on the business. So research is not that dusty anymore. It's really a vibrant and exciting place to be in.
Yeah.
And I teach market research at a couple of business schools, and that's for them the aha moment. Oh, research isn't boring. It's actually a very vibrant industry. A lot is happening. I can have a lot of impact on brands, companies, society, but I can also be creative in the research industry. And that's for a lot of young folks really an aha moment. Like, oh, it's not being behind a computer screen, it's not boring, it's actually innovative, creative, using a lot of technology. So
I was going to say, just to build on that, what's really interesting is in the client side, often when we're bringing in new graduates and things like that, they go on a rotation, like into different areas. And they used to always come through the insights teams, because that foundation, like even if you're going to work in marketing, you're going to work in finance, you're going to work in, having that foundation of being able to, first of all, understand data, being able to connect it, be able to not just see stars, but see constellations like patterns and things like that. It's a really basic, fundamental skill. So just when you start in research doesn't mean you're going to end in research. I ended up in marketing, so in general management. So I started, and we have that foundation. So thinking about it as, oh, I'm in research, and therefore it's a vertical, and I'm just going to be. It's actually this incredible foundation, especially as people are starting to think about being more human-centric, more, a lot more deeper consumer understanding, because data is a what. We need to figure out what the so what is. Yeah, so I think that's kind of exciting.
So can you tell us, we've spoken a lot about client side, and can you tell us the differences between agency work and like client side? So what can someone entering the industry experience, or if someone wanted to shift from one side to the other? Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, I mean, I can share a little bit from my story. I started a company called Harris Interactive, working in the operations department as a project manager over about 20 years ago. And I think that was such a great place to start, because I did learn all the fundamentals of research and various methodologies. And it was a really interesting time because we were doing most of our research offline, so I'm really dating myself here. But my job was to help usher clients into this new methodology known as online research. And so, I know, it's ridiculous. So, I think I've spent the entire lion's share of my career on the agency side, and I've had a few different roles. But I think, what I was saying to the folks over at, in the sessions on Sunday is, I think a lot of people come out of school thinking their career is just going to go like this. And they feel a lot of pressure to know where they're going to go, what they're going to do, and what 5, 10, 15, 20 years is going to look like in the future. And I just said, be easy on yourself, have grace, and be kind to yourself, and recognize that careers typically go like this. And I know a lot of colleagues of mine that have been really successful in going to the brand side, and they use that foundation of knowledge and expertise that they learn on the agency side to really help strengthen the teams that they're joining. And I've seen the same when clients come over to the agency side and they have such a unique perspective and can really help to fine-tune agencies and make them that much more, successful in supporting their clients.
I would just say, like, from a client side point of view, is often we're really starting with the business problem we're trying to solve. And when we finish that, and we get the data and everything. We're having to say, how are we going to execute that? And so when I moved from agency side to client side, it was like actually learning how the business works, how you make money, how the decisions you're going to have to make, rather than just doing the focus piece of what does the consumer think. It's like, now how do I execute that and how do I land that? And I think we've become closer with agencies that are getting more involved with understanding that. And so I think that the blur between, oh, you work on agency side versus you work on client side is actually starting to be very blurry, because agencies want to get more involved in the strategic understanding, not just, oh, I'm a vendor that's going to just supply you with something. So I think that's a really exciting evolution. I don't know what you Mark.
I completely agree. Yeah? We see a lot of more partnership between people at the client side and the agencies, really becoming an extension almost of the client side team, which means that, again, research becomes much more exciting, because in the past it was like you work at agency side and you're more like a research expert, very technical, very good in methodology, but you don't see the impact of what you're doing. These days I think that's blurring, and more we work together with people at the client side to deliver that impact. And in general, I think an agency is a good learning school to do whatever you want later on in marketing or even in consulting. So it's great to start your career, I think, at an agency, and then you have multiple options.
I was going to say, to build on Tom's idea of like the expertise piece, it's like bringing that expertise in, knowing what you're an expert at, but also to when you're moving to a new job or you're moving to client side, you don't have to tick 100% of the boxes on the job description. You know, it's like, know what you're really strong at and be curious enough to learn more. And I think that's what researchers are really good at. It's like realizing I don't know it all, and I'm going to learn it all, and we'll learn more. So, yeah, so often we're like, oh, I can't move to brand side because I only do this and this. I haven't got this piece of experience. And it's like, yeah, maybe you can. Because often people move to brand side into the insights part of the brand. Then you move from the insights to actual marketing, like where, you know, I'm now actually a user of the research rather than somebody who's making the research. So the evolution can be like this. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It's been incredibly insightful, and we look forward to working with you, and enjoy the rest of your Congress and gala this evening.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. See you soon.